Hey there, and welcome. So today we're going to dive into something pretty wild. A connection between foods our great-great-great-grandparents ate and, believe it or not, the very wiring of our brains.
I mean, seriously, could your lunch actually improve your mind? It sounds a little out there, right? But what if that yogurt you had for breakfast, or that kimchi on your tacos, could literally affect your mood, how sharp your memory is, even how clear you feel?
Think about it. For most of history, we've just eaten these things because they taste good and they last a long time. But it turns out there's this secret conversation that's been happening inside us this whole time. A direct line from what's on your plate to what's going on in your head.
Okay, so to really get this, we kind of have to hit the rewind button on what we thought we knew. For ages, scientists pictured the brain as this, untouchable fortress up in our heads, totally separate from all the messy stuff happening in our gut.
Yeah, that idea is completely out the window now. We know for sure the brain isn't just floating up there by itself. It's in a constant back-and-forth conversation with our gut. It's a two-way street, and what happens in your stomach can absolutely change what's happening in your brain, and vice versa.
And this is where it gets really cool. It brings us to this idea of the gut as our second brain. And listen, that's not just some catchy phrase. It's a legit powerhouse, buzzing with so much activity that it has a huge say in how we think and feel every single day.
So how do they talk? Well, they use this superhighway called the gut-brain axis. Just picture it like a direct fiber optic cable running between your digestive system and your central nervous system. They're sending messages back and forth all day, every day, about everything. Your mood, your immune response, you name it.
Okay, get ready for this because this number is just, wow, 95%. That's how much of your body's serotonin, the happy chemical that helps with mood and sleep, is made in your gut. Not your brain, your gut. That is absolutely wild when you stop and think about it. So, you're probably wondering, how exactly are they communicating? Well, it's not just one way. It's like they have 4 different phone lines open at once. There's a direct nerve connection, the vagus nerve. There's an immune pathway, sending alerts about inflammation, a hormone pathway, floating things like serotonin around, and a metabolic pathway, where these little molecules made by your gut bacteria travel all over your body.
All right, so this is where it all comes together. This is where fermented food steps onto the stage. It's this ancient process that doesn't just preserve food, it actually creates special compounds that, it turns out, can speak the brain's language.
And we're not just talking about leaving cabbage on the counter. Fermentation is this incredible controlled process. You've got these microorganisms, bacteria and yeast, acting like billions of tiny chefs. They get to work transforming the food, unlocking nutrients, creating new vitamins, basically making it supercharged.
But, and this is a really important but, not all fermented foods are created equal. You have to look for the live and unpasteurized stuff. That jar of sauerkraut that's been heated to sit on a shelf for 2 years, the little microbe chefs have been killed off. For this gut-brain connection to work, you need the live ones. They're the stars of the show.
And why are they the stars? Because these live microbes can actually influence the production of the very chemicals that run your brain. We're talking serotonin for your mood, dopamine for motivation and pleasure, GABA to help you chill out, and even acetylcholine for memory. It's amazing.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. This sounds great, it sounds cool, but where's the proof? Is there any hard science to back this up? Well, you're in luck. Let's dig into a really important study that did just that.
So a team at Stanford University came up with a pretty brilliant and straightforward experiment. They wanted to see, in real people, what would happen if they loaded up their diet with either high-fiber foods or fermented foods.
It was simple. They split people into 2 groups. Group 1 went on a high-fiber diet, lots of plants to feed the gut bugs they already had. And Group 2, they were told to eat a bunch of different fermented foods every single day, things like yogurt, kefir, kimchi, and kombucha.
And the first result was a big one. The group eating fermented foods saw a huge jump in the diversity of their gut microbiome. Now, in the gut world, diversity is king. It's the #1 sign of a healthy, strong, and resilient gut.
But this might be even bigger. The fermented food group also saw a drop in 19 different markers of inflammation in their bodies. That is a massive deal, because we now know that this low-level, chronic inflammation is tied to so many issues, including things like depression and anxiety.
So what's the takeaway here? What does this mean for you and me right now? How do we take this ancient knowledge and actually use it to help our brains today?
Well, the best part is that this stuff is everywhere, and it's delicious. We're talking about simple things like kefir and yogurt, kimchi and sauerkraut, miso and tempeh,
even kombucha or a good slice of real sourdough bread.
And here's probably the most important piece of advice from the actual research. It's not about going crazy and eating a huge amount all at once. It's about consistency. Regularity is what counts. A little bit each day is way more powerful than a lot every once in a while. Think small, consistent additions.
Now, we got to be real for a second. This is not some miracle cure, and it's definitely not a replacement for professional medical advice. The best way to think about it is as one more tool in your wellness toolbox, a way to support a healthier biological environment from the inside out.
Which leaves us with this pretty amazing thought, doesn't it? As we're all searching for the future of brain health, maybe, just maybe, one of the biggest secrets has been hiding in our past this whole time. In the ancient traditions and living foods that have been quietly supporting us for thousands of years.